Good morning, Your Honor. Members of Commissioner's Court, I'm Jerome Iltis. I'm the immediate past commander of the 23rd District of the American Legion. 23rd District is an 8-county region that includes Medina, Frio, Dimmit, Zavala, LaSalle, Jim Hogg, Webb, and Maverick County. Of course, there's a post here in Carrizo Springs that is a part of our district, 23rd District. With me today is the post commander of the Carrizo Springs post, Jeff Davis, and also we have the current district commander, Brian Conkey. What I'd like to do today is to recognize an author of an article that was published in a nationwide magazine called the American Legion magazine. It's an article about Dimmit County, and it's about it's entitled Mexico's Heroes and America's Brothers. It's about the Aztec Eagles. It's about Mexico's involvement in World War II and how some Mexican pilots came here to Texas to train during World War II for deployment to the battles there in the Pacific Campaign. One of our purposes in the American Legion is to preserve the memories and incidents of our associations in all wars. This article effectively does that. It preserves the memories and incidents about this landmark occasion of Mexico's involvement in World War II. This was the only involvement that Mexico had in World War II. So by publishing this article, those memories and incidents have effectively been preserved. So we want to honor that today by presenting Cynthia Buchanan this plaque of the article that's mounted on the plaque. So I'm going to present that to Jeff Davis because Jeff Davis helped with the research with that article. So Jeff, thank you very much for all your good work. And in our appreciation to Jeff Davis, I don't think he realizes this, but we also have a plaque for him to honor him for all the research that he did that went into writing this article. So Jeff is going to present this article, this plaque to the author, Cynthia Buchanan. And again, thank you for all your work to preserve the memories and incidents of our associations in World War II. And if you don't mind, I was wondering if we might be able to get a picture with you and our group here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Sir.
I would like to put you on the agenda because there's a lot of questions that we have that haven't been addressed. So can you, if we put you on the agenda, can you come by?
We'd be happy to.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
We have public comment from Mr. Eddie Dilworth.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. I want to comment on the proposed court complex. I would just tell you my own. I learned values in football. That's what I played in sports. And I learned a life lesson that I can depend on my teammates and trust my teammates to do their part. And they could trust me to do my part. That started with my life in sports. And in my professional life, I have applied that. In my life and my family, I've applied that. What I want to say is, this investment in our children is a great investment, and when we invest in our children's future, we are investing in Dimmit County's future and quite possibly the planet's. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dilworth. Any other public comments, Mr. Garcia? 1.6, approval of minutes of regular meeting July 24, 2023, and special meeting July 31st, 2023. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve, subject to no corrections.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Urenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Informational 2.1, approval to purchase dual-purpose dog canine and a 10 canine handler training purchased through the Sheriff's Forfeiture Fund. I don't think there's any discussion, or no action to be taken. This is for informational purposes. Any questions or discussion in regards to that? 3.1, approval of bonds. We have one bond for Belinda Sandoval, Deputy County Clerk.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.2, discussion and appropriate action, consideration and approval of an order approving the issuance of Dimmit County, Texas tax notes, Series 2023, authorizing a purchase contract, paying agent, registrar agreement, and making other provisions regarding such notes and matters incident thereto.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Again, for the record, Robert Tejeda with Tejeda Galvan Lawrence, the county's financial advisor, and also with me this morning, Mr. Alberto Aguilera, Vescamilla bond counsel for the county. And we're here this morning to present the final pricing presentation. Judge, as you stated, the tax note series 2023. If you turn to page 2, we have the project sources and uses. The finance and legal process all started on June the 5th, so the projects have pretty much been the same. Bond proceeds would be used for park improvements and equipment, payment of professional services. The sources, the par amount is $13,585,000. Project fund deposit, if this item is approved, the county will receive on September the 6th $13,450,000 to move forward with the projects, and you have the total cost of issuance $135,000. Total sources and uses match at $13,585,000. If you turn to page 3, these are the summary of bids. The placement agent went out and submitted the proposal, the term bid sheets to numerous banks, probably 25 plus banks, and we received 2 bids last Friday from Amagi and Huntington Bank. Amagi Bank was the winning bid at 4.97%. If you turn to the following page, page 4, the judge and the commissioners, the goal was if we go out there and obtain a financing that we have no INS tax rate increase on the community. So based on your property values on column B, row 13, property values had an increase of over, or almost 11% from 8.2 billion to 9,084 million. On column E is the principal and interest. The county is one of the unique issuers out there. When you go out and you borrow money, your goal has always been the last 5 years, pay it off as quick as possible, as fast as we can. So on column E, row 13 and 14 is your principal and interest payments. So for next fiscal year, you have a principal and interest payment total of $6,095,000, followed by fiscal year 25, $8,560,000. If you notice on column I, your current INS tax rate's at 13.72. Issuing the debt on column E, your INS tax rate is going to be slightly less at 13.44. Again, I repeat, the goal of the Judge Commissioner's Court, no INS tax rate increase. This financing will not cause your interest and sinking fund tax rate to increase. And if you notice on row 14 throughout the columns, next year on column L, your INS tax rate for fiscal year 24 is 13.44. If nothing happens, the values stay the same, your INS tax rate drops from 13.44 to 11.37, and then the county after fiscal year 25 will be completely debt free. And on page 5 is the timetable of events. Again, we know the finance and legal process started on June the 5th, but this has been on the county's planning for quite a while, several months, even probably late last year. June the 5th, they approved the plan of finance. The bids were due on Friday, August the 11th. And today, regular Commissioners Court meeting, and this item is approved. The county will receive the funds on September the 6th. If you go to page 6, we have the issuer, Dimmit County, Texas, financial advisor, bond counsel is coming upon it. The placement agent, FHN Financial, and the purchaser and the paying agent is the same bank, Amagi Bank. Any questions from the judge or the commissioners?
Is it the best interest rate you can get us?
Yes, sir. With the placement agent, FHN is the one that goes out there and submit all the terms, including the local bank and the normal banks in Texas and outside. So at least 25 or more banks received the term bid sheet. On Friday, the bids were due, and those were the only two banks that submitted a bid, Amagi Bank and Huntington. So that was the lowest rate offered. The other banks, for some reason, either have already loaned their money early part of this year, or this was too much money to consider lending, or some banks will consider that's not enough for us to participate in the financing, or they're just waiting for other financings down the latter part of this year. So absolutely, 25 plus banks received it, a lot of them passed, and these were the only two that submitted it.
Okay, the interest is for 3 years, correct?
2 years. It's in 2 years. Yes, sir.
And that was my next question. My distinct understanding is that the rate reflects the fact that we're asking for it to be debt-free in 2 years, correct?
Yes, sir. We're doing the loan for 2 years only, going out to borrow the money, and we're going to pay it, the county's going to pay it back in 2 years.
In 2 years. Not 3. Any other questions? Commissioner, no questions?
Mr. Aguilera, anything to add?
Good morning,
Good
Judge,
morning.
Commissioners. Roberto Aguilera, that's me in Ponic. The matter before the board is an order that we prepared that incorporates the financial terms that Mr. Deacon just presented. So it's the pleasure of the court to move forward. It'd be appropriate to have a motion to approve the order that will accept the financial terms that Mr. Deacon has presented, and also authorize various county officials to execute the necessary documents that we need to move forward with the financing. We'll then turn around and present a transcript of proceedings to the Attorney General's office, who has to review and approve all public securities offerings and transactions in Texas. We'll get that process started and close time. The matter before the board, or before the Commissioner's Court rather, is an order approving the financing that we appropriate this time. Court's pleasure.
I will entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you. Three point three, discussion and appropriate action, 2023 tax rate worksheets, proposed total tax rate record vote, and schedule public hearing if needed.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Commissioner. You should have a breakdown of the worksheets, a summary in your packets. This year, as you can see, our certified values increased by $878 billion, from 8.2 to 9 billion. So with that being said, our no new revenue tax rate is 0.2630, and the voter approval tax rate is 0.2851, which are both lower than the tax rate we currently have of 0.29. So today, you will be proposing which tax rate you would like to go with for the 2023 year, so that we can set it for a public hearing on September 11th.
Questions?
It's very, we accept this. Is there any way you can put it in the newspaper and put us by yourself that our rate is totally different than what we see in the school and everything else, and we get blamed for everything else?
Yes, sir, I get it every year.
Right.
Yes.
Big-
We, actually, there's a website, and I believe postcards went out to where you can see all the worksheets, and they will be on there. And I will be putting them, or submitting them to be put on our website as well. So once everything is adopted, I will repost it on their websites too.
Thank you.
Other questions? I'll entertain a motion as to the rate that the Commissioners Court wants to adopt.
And then we hold them or we can-
Take one at a time.
So we'll
Motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Discussion? Any discussion, Commissioner? No discussion?
We need a rate. I need a rate.
Yes, we do. We have to decide which rate we want, because she put two of them. There's two.
If we go 20, we go 26.
So then, go ahead, Commissioner.
If we put 26, does that mean we still gotta have a public hearing or?
Yeah, anytime you go above the .2630, you're having a public hearing, which I believe our auditor has a proposed rate for the budget.
So the 2022 adopted rate was .29, Commissioner Carmona.
Right.
So the 2023, we do a no new revenue tax rate, it's .26, so it's lower than the previous when adopted. So he's asking that if we go with the lower one, do we still have to advertise, is what he's saying.
Yes.
That's right. Any rate, huh?
Any rate above the no new year.
Wesley, so when you gonna recommend?
We basically, going with the 28, you're still dropping over last year's rate. And that would suffice to do for the debt service and keep the debt and keep the revenues the same as last year.
So it's my understanding that you're recommending the 28?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I know I sound manly, but last time I checked, I was a female, Mr. Pereira.
28.5. 28.5. 28.5 for it. 28.5. 28.5.
Amend my motion to accept the 2025 as recommended by the auditor.
Motion amended by Commissioner Juan Carmona to reflect the recommendation of the Dimmit County Auditor, Carlos Pereira.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Sandoval. .4 Discussion and appropriate action, approval to advertise increase of 2023-2024 salaries for elected officials. There's no copy in here?
I didn't get a copy, Judge.
We need a copy, there's no copy in here. There's no copy. The one Mr. Pereira gave us. The copy on Friday. Where's the copy, Mr. Pereira? Do you have a, check on top? I'm going to recall that item. 3.5 discussion. That's not the one. It's the one. 3.5 discussion and appropriate action. Approval for deployed services to use the Dimmit County Facilities Rodeo Arena Conference Center in case of an emergency. I know we have deployed services here, but I'm going to entertain a motion to table. I'll let Mr. Gonzalez speak, but the Commissioners Court approved last year to allow them to use it contingent on a contract that was had. They have a copy of the contract reflecting changes that the court wanted. However, we cannot find that contract and they cannot find that contract, so we need to find that contract so I can have it before Commissioners Court for its approval. But I'll go ahead and let him make his presentation. Mr. Gonzalez.
First of all, I'd like to compliment you all. But what I heard about the financial situation over here, you guys need a round of applause. I'm telling you, you guys are doing a good job. As you have seen me here before, we did come back the last time. It was approved by the Commissioners Court the way that I introduced to Judge Ponce. And at that time, the instructions were to take both the original document that you used for the for renting of the rodeo arena, and to add the red font that is in that document that was added by the other commissioner, Judge Ponce. And the instructions were back then was to give it over to, I believe, Mr. Garcia or somebody to officially draft a document so that it could be signed. So now I'm back again, and the only document that I do have is the one that we were working on, the draft.
Correct.
And nothing has been changed in the draft. We just got the draft back and brought it to Judge Ponce for you all to consider. And so to give you some background information, the only thing here is that between then and now, we have figured that in case of a hurricane, more than likely, our buildings will withstand a hurricane. Tornadoes, we know that if we ever get hit by a tornado, it doesn't matter where you're at, things can be destroyed. However, in case of an evacuation of a fire, we need to be able to evacuate, and we need an area where we can take safe harbor for the residents of our facility. So that is what we're looking at, and nothing for it to be permanent. We did say that we would be in charge of everything, security, feeding if we need to feed the residents, making sure that everything's taken care of. If there's any damage to the building, which I doubt very seriously because we have a lot of supervision, that we would take care of that. And I believe at that time, it was asked that we place, I can't remember, $3,000 or $5,000 deposit even ahead of time, even before we used it. So that was the last thing that occurred when I was here some time ago.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Again, I'll entertain a motion. We have discussed with Mr. Garcia's office. Mr. Garcia's office does not have a copy of that contract on his computer, so we are trying to move forward and figure out who has the original document so that we can correct and make those changes. And
the original document, the document, the working document is the one that I gave you, because there is no other document than that one. From that particular working document, they were going to be able to put it together, make it official, and then we were both going to be signing at that time.
Wouldn't it be more of a table than action because?
no, that's what I said. I was going to entertain a motion to table.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Yes, entertain a
Table
motion.
because you still gotta work the I's and the T's, so
Correct.
nothing can be changed in between.
I think at the time we were going to modify the contract specifically for their needs.
That's what it looked like based on,
An agreement to public works.
that's what it looked like based on what he was telling me, but we can't find that contract. So that's why I'm asking to entertain a motion to table. Motion by Commissioner Uranda, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any other discussion?
Just to clarification, when you say to get the original document or create another document, do you want us to come back and work with you, Judge, to once again try to put it together so that you can come up with the official document? I mean, I don't know what would be the next step.
I'm gonna get the document, the one you brought me with the red on there, and we're gonna have to redo it because
Because I understand that that's just a working copy.
Yes.
I recommend you guys right here. So it has to either be Mr. Gonzalez that we gave it to review the contract, or it was Mr. Delano to do the contract.
Somebody, I can't remember, and I'm sorry.
Mr. Gonzalez doesn't have.
But I know that somebody was given the instructions to take that document and create the official document.
Correct.
I mean, we waited and nothing came our way.
Because that's the input of the EMC also, because if there's a catastrophic event, you need to go ahead and start following the ICS procedures.
The document that he has, that he worked with the previous administration.
Yes, but if an incident happens, we gotta look into consideration also that if something happens here in town, Dimmit County, Carrizo Springs, and everybody has first choice. We're not gonna leave our citizens outside to accommodate,
That's what we.
That-
And that's in the document, that's one of the things that.
And it's on the that document he brought, he worked with the previous administration
But I
to
can
do it.
provide because for about a year, right now, we're just saying that employee services will have first
No.
stop.
No, that's not what it says on that
It's
document.
it's on the
I
document.
understand that, but the way he's explaining it, it says employee service.
Okay, but we're gonna table it so that we can get that clarified.
All right, just call us when you're ready.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposition? Motion carries. 3.6, discussion and appropriate action, request approval to subdivide 15 acres of land near Dimmit County Arena. Rogelio Martinez.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm still trying to get that subdivided.
I'll entertain a motion.
No.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Odena. Discussion?
Ma'am, this flag was not meets the requirement of the county. Because he's gonna put down that the county will not be responsible for any roads that you build on the dividing section. Otherwise, if we adopt this flag right here, just this, we're liable for any roads to develop. So that's why when I asked you, I told you to make a flag and say that.
I don't plan to do any roads.
Sorry?
I don't plan to do any roads.
Well, it says your entrance and all that. And when people start buying and they start building, they're gonna want roads coming in and out, correct?
Well, everything is on the main road.
Okay, well, you need to put it here that the county will not be responsible for any maintenance or anything there at the subdivision that you're gonna create. You know what I'm saying? That's why I told you the last time that you need to put all that down. Otherwise, we'll be liable for any roads or anything that they build. But if it's here, that the county will not be responsible, then we won't have any problems.
I'm sorry, I forgot your last name.
Martinez.
Mr. Martinez, all you have to do is to put on there that it's gonna be a private road and it's not gonna be maintained by the county. Anybody that wishes to do their own driveway or road, then it's gonna be maintained by them.
They're responsible.
Yes. And the county will have also no process to work on your county roads.
I think this property runs off of, yeah, the border. And who maintains that road?
It's Lorry Road or?
It's Lower
Lower-
Road. Lower Road
Lower
is
Road.
maintained by precinct 4.
Okay, so, that road's maintained by the precinct, but anything adjacent to that or off of that is a private driveway.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Right?
Also, we have a problem there, Judge, that people want mailboxes, but it would cost the county, so we haven't come to an agreement. That's Commissioner Ocala says, so if you don't want to put it, you can put them. That's why I'm trying to explain to him the problems that arise later on when they develop a subdivision.
Judge, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Garcia.
I need to ask, has there been a survey done on this property?
I don't think so. I don't think
That's what I'm trying to do,
he's,
but they will not
so the,
survey it until the county approves it.
when he was here last time, he presented to the court that the surveyor will not conduct the survey unless the county approves for him to be able to subdivide.
I guess after the survey, they'll get her plan to be recorded in the county clerk's office.
Correct. That's,
And that clause regarding model subdivision rules is always attached to that part of roads and
Correct. So this is not the official plat, Mr. Martinez?
No,
So is it my understanding that you're asking us to approve the subdivision so that you can be able to get that plat, which will later include the language that Commissioner Juan Carmona asking you for? Other discussion? Commissioner Alonso, you're going to keep your motion as is? Okay.
It's amended.
You're going to amend it?
No, it's.
You're going to keep?
It's meant to say present.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
Aye.
We have one opposition. Commissioner Juan Carmona.
He's coming back on his, the original lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Thank you.
3.7, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from Constable Precinct 2, Mr. Andres Arambula, for the month of July 2023.
Good morning, Judge,
Morning.
Commissioners. Garcia.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Constable. Commissioner. Commissioner Vedder. Three point four, discussion and appropriate action, approval to advertise increase of 2023-2024 salaries for elected officials. I'll entertain a motion. Yes, we can. The time is 10:39, Mr. Garcia. We're going to go into executive session.
We're back on the record, Mr. Garcia, from executive session. The time is
11:50. I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the advertised increase subject to the changes as proposed by the court for 2023-2024 for salaries for elected officials.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Odena. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.8, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report for Constable Precinct 3, Mr. Robert Valderas and Rudy Lopez for the month of July 2023.
Morning, Judge, Commissioner.
Morning, how are you feeling, Constable?
Love it.
Glad to see you here.
Thank you.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner, was that Uranda or Carmona? Commissioner Uranda. Any discussion?
I have one. Constable, if I may, I wanted to bring this up to you and the rest of the constables and the sheriff's department. school fixing to start here within about a week or so.
Yes, sir.
I know one of the biggest issues that we've had on 85, 277, and 83 north is buses exiting, loading and unloading students. And with the amount of oil field traffic within these roads, people are tending to want to go around the bus.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like it's one of probably the most unsafe act that we would encounter. So if I may just ask for y'all's assistance during that period of time when school starts, people are forgetting that summer's over and you know, that they need to look out for that.
No, we make sure the kids load, get on the bus, and we make sure we escort them all the way back to the school.
Thank you.
Mr. Valdez, I want to thank you for allowing Mr. Lopez to assist us in Diamond H. We'll be out there this week and next week too. So any assistance we would
Yes,
greatly appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you.
you, Constable.
Thank you, Judge.
3.9, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from Precinct 1, Mr. Alfredo Castañeda for the month of July 2023.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm going to go back to, excuse me, Mr. Castañeda, go back to 3.8. I needed to get a vote. Did I get a vote, Mr.? I did not, right? Am I over? I'll take a vote for all in favor of Mr. Valderas' monthly report.
Aye.
Any opposition? All in favor, excuse me, motion carries. I apologize. Mr. Castañeda is the 3.9. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Urenda. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Castañeda.
Thank you.
3.10, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from Constable Precinct 4, Mr. Jose Galvan for the month of July 2023.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Urenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Galvan.
Waiting to address that.
3.11, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from Victory Ambulance for the month of July 2023.
Good morning, everyone. For the month of July, we had a total of 337 runs. We had 65 emergencies, 26 refusals, 55 transfers, 25 helipads, 18 discharges, 83 dialysis, 25 doctor's appointments, 26 wound cares, 12 MVAs, and 2 DOAs.
Any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Urenda,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any discussion?
Eric, can you approach the bench?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we missing something else? Or maybe it was just-
I think it didn't come out. Oh, this is just where vehicles, on our county, it was an accident, what it was, I don't know, but I'll double check on that.
Maybe we could just, for the next future reference, get a better copy.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.12, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from the Dimmit County Golf Course for the month of July 2023.
Motion to table.
Motion to table by Commissioner Odena,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.13, discussion and appropriate action, approval of Houston Street Improvement Project closeout.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Dan Dale, Legal Associates. Good morning, Commissioners. Or good afternoon. This is the closeout documents for the Houston Street Community Development Block Grant Road Improvement Project. The contractor performed the final asphalt improvement last week. We've driven it. It looks okay. Commissioner, you talked to the city, and I think Mr. Camarillo from the city was over there to take a look at it. So we've prepared the certificate of construction completion. We have the final pay request from the contractor. We have the record drawings ready and affidavit of clean lien. So I'll be glad to entertain any questions that you all might have.
Mr. Howe, when you say it looks okay, you mean in an acceptable?
Yes, we recommend that the county consider approving the construction contract as complete. Yes, ma'am.
You had a question, Commissioner?
No, I was just gonna say that it's a well-built road. As long as our citizens take care of it, we should have no issues with it.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera, second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you. 3.14, approval to purchase a 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 pickup from Gunn for Precinct 2.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera, second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Carmona,
Commissioner.
is there a wait time for you to pick up your truck or no?
This week.
This week? Sheriff, you might want to get with Gunn since they have trucks available.
They sold the previous one, but they got some for this week.
Because I know several, Cutler was 4 to 6 months waiting
Yeah.
to pick up trucks.
Mine says a regular, I didn't order 4x4.
I want to check anyway.
Yours is a Sierra 1500.
And that's because the old truck, the one we were using, the 2010, just gave out, so.
Any other questions? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. 3.15, discussion and appropriate action, approval to remove debris from 843 Bob Howard Lane due to health hazard to the public, Precinct 2.
Judge, this letter was given to me by Miss Joy, I can't recall her last,
Bowling.
Her residence burned, and we went through the process of looking it up for having it removed from there. And she gave the okay, we can go and help her out. But we've done this before because it is a health hazard, and it's also part of FEMA's clearing the properties. They have children there and everything, so we don't want them to get hurt.
Any questions? I entertain a motion.
Judge, I have a question. What are we gonna do? It was a mobile home, correct?
I'm sorry?
It was a mobile home?
It's going to landfill.
All right. We're not gonna get a salvage tire to sell the metal to at least recover or reimburse the county?
We can do it separated from the.
Yeah. And see if she'll give the county a salvage tile since it's total loss, and then we can sell the scrap metal to recover some of our time. That's what I recommend.
I will entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any discussion?
Judge, just so Commissioner Carmona go ahead and put down for the construction. Metal and all that. If she wants to donate it, she doesn't.
Are you amending, are you asking for the motion to be amended, or you're just asking for him to, for you to make sure to ask?
Yeah. She's very good with our class.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. To make sure, as a donation. 3.16, discussion and appropriate action, approval to purchase a backhoe from JCB with a possible trade-in for precinct 2.
Judge, we're having issues with this backhoe. It's costing us more every time that it goes down, as if we can just trade it in and get another one. We got 31,000 for.
Is that's the quote they gave you
Yes.
for the trade-in value?
And 125,000 itself, it'll be 94,000. Well, it's acting up as well as like a maintainer. We're having a lot of issues since they're old.
Discussion, questions?
This is going to be purchased through your budget or COC?
Seal.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. Discussion? All in favor? Objections? Motion carries. 3.17, discussion and appropriate action, approval to purchase a wet kit from Bruckner's for precinct 2.
This is one of our trucks that we have, what you call it, makes it winter, but it's a tractor truck that doesn't have a wet kit. We got a new lowboy a year ago or so, and the kits that we have on there are not strong enough to lift that lowboy. So they're building one for it to be able to be used.
Commissioner, is this also from the CO?
No, it's coming
From your budget?
Capital update. There's money
From
there.
your capital equipment?
Our capital equipment.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. Any other discussion? Excuse me. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, approval for Road and Bridge Precinct 3 and 6 to purchase a chip and seal spreader.
Judge, as you know, we contract most of our work to other companies, and if we buy this spreader, our men can do it, and we'll save $100,000 or $600,000.
What's the, I don't have any backup on it, do you have? I don't have any backup to it.
What's it to the PO, so I don't know if,
It wasn't, I just asked my admin and she said nothing was received from your office in regards to the documentation.
call the secretary.
I'll recall this item. 3.19, discussion and appropriate action, approval to contract an electrician to install coin machine at the Joaquin Salgado Park.
Judge, we're trying to obtain some services from an electrician that was previously used the past to install these same machines. We need one installed at the Joaquin Salgado Park and one at the Johnny
Gloria.
Placita, the Johnny Gloria Placita. They were both sustained some damage where they're not working anymore. So we need to
Do you have the electrician or you're asking just to look for, to advertise for
We're
it?
gonna advertise.
You are? Okay. So that's what you're asking, to approve to advertise for an electrician?
Well, we have two that are willing to do it. But Mr. Perez said we need to put our permissions for.
It's a contract, right?
It's a
Just
contract.
approve it, to get them approved. So you just need to, you don't need to advertise.
So I just need to approve. So we just need to approve for the electrician to.
I understand.
Be set up, right?
I understand what you're saying, but I'm waiting. Commissioners was on the
Oh,
phone.
okay. I didn't know.
Yes, Commissioner.
Just,
Okay. Any other questions?
Okay, that's enough. Alfredo, can you do it? Alfredo Martinez? He's gonna.
I called him, but
No, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah, no, he can do it, but I think he had been, out of work as a doctor.
Because he's doing the sprinklers.
Oh, he's doing it?
Yeah, he's doing the sprinklers, so that's why.
I can contact him again.
But you can get whoever you want to, but I mean.
He's working right now here.
He's working? Okay. I can contact him.
Yeah, we don't have to wait too long to advertise and all of that stuff. We can just, it's been approved by Commissioner's Court, so we'll there.
Okay.
I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. 3.20, discussion and appropriate action, approval to purchase a zero-turn for the utility department.
I'm gonna table this, Judge, we're using another one from the precinct one, so I'm gonna table this one.
Motion to table by Commissioner Uranda, is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Alonso Carmona, seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, approval to hire one full-time employee for the utility department.
Yes, Judge, this position is a position that's been open, that is, we would like to fill this position to assist Mr.
Any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Aye. Motion. Oh, it's motion.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Noguera. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. 3.22, discussion and appropriate action, approval to hire one part-time employee for the golf course.
Yes, Judge, this position is also one that's is open, we'd like to fill to assist at the golf course.
Any questions?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Noguera.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
How many employees or part-timers do we have at the golf course?
Two.
Two part-timers,
Yes, ma'am.
full-time?
Two. Full-time, well, we have 3 full-time and 2 part-time.
3 full-time? Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. 3.23, discussion and appropriate action, approval to hire one full-time employee for precinct 1.
This position is also one that was filled. A gentleman took another job at Boyfield, so we'd like to fill the position.
So,
This is a vacancy you have?
Yes, ma'am.
Who quit?
He wants to know who quit.
Somebody quit on you?
Yes. A young man.
Not who, pero.
Yeah, CDL driver went on to work for a road.
Second.
Commissioner Carmona, you motioned?
No, but Commissioner Rocco motion.
Commissioner Noguera?
I second.
You second? Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. I couldn't hear you, Commissioner.
So sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I'll recall items 324, 325, and 326. 327, discussion and appropriate action, approval for Commissioner Precinct 4, 5, and 7, Valerie Rubalcaba, Maribel Miranda, Patsy Galvan, Gracie Perez, and Florinda Perez to attend the All-State and Federal Commodities Responsibilities Conference in Laredo, Texas on August 23rd, 2023.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any discussion? All in, it's just a one-day thing, right, Commissioner? All in favor?
No.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.28, discussion and appropriate action regarding the 2024 Sheriff's and Constables Fees Report pursuant to Section 118 of the Local Government Code.
Judge and Commissioners, this is an annual submission.
Yes, it's a,
And I think we're at the max right now. We'll just go through the current cases.
no changes, correct?
Okay.
So moved.
This is, just for the record, this is something that is required annually from the comptrollers. And as Mr. Garcia stated, there's no increase or decrease. We're keeping the fees the same. Motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba, second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.29, discussion and appropriate action, appointment of presiding and alternate election judges effective September 1st, 2023.
Judge and Commissioners, in your binder, that's like a partial list that I have so far. Although there was an opportunity for our local county chairs to submit recommendations. And the deadline was July 31, which nobody submitted, but I'm still open to that.
I'm going to ask for it to be tabled because I believe we're missing the Dimmit County Chair and the Republican Chair did submit something and I don't see them on here.
All right.
So it was sent to the wrong location, Mr. Garcia. So I'm going to entertain a motion to table.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba,
Second.
second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.30, discussion and appropriate action, approval for County Clerk Mario Garcia, Deputy Clerks Delma De Leon and Maricel Munoz to attend the 6th Annual County and District Association of Texas Fall Conference on September the 10th through the 13th in College Station.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any discussion? Mr. Garcia, I have a question in regards to Marcy's voucher. I see there's not a hotel room. Is she's boarding with Delma?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. 3.31, discussion and appropriate action, clarification of policy on holidays, called in to work on holiday, amend special pay.
Morning, Judge and Commissioners.
Morning.
This is kind of a, I guess you can say, a two-part clarification. The first one is regarding with this new handbook we had approved, there was a lot of stuff that carried over from the old handbook. And something that carried over was the special pay for the utility and the law enforcement whenever they work on a holiday. The first clarification was, in regards to law enforcement, is that only deputies and jailers, or is that just anyone that works in that department?
Say that again, Mr. Ortiz.
There's special pay for law enforcement and utilities who come into work on a holiday. But I was looking for clarification if law enforcement is considered just the deputies and the jailers, or is it anybody who works in those departments?
I think if we fall back, and I think we'll probably need to table this item to get legal clarification, but If we fall back to SB 2020, SB 22 with the comptroller, which goes into effect September 1, they reflect that it's deputies and jailers, not to include dispatch.
There's one that passed not too long ago that under law enforcement, dispatchers are considered law enforcement.
Well, that was in 2019, but it didn't make them law enforcement, it made them first responders.
Yeah, it was the
First
first
responders.
But it doesn't make them law, because the comptroller bill that came out, the SB 22, unfortunately, it says that law enforcement does not include dispatchers, it includes just the jailers and the sheriff's deputies, but it includes the dispatch and administration as first responders.
I thought that this was just whenever they were doing the LOS, the overtime for deputies. Otherwise, we would never paid overtime for deputies or jailers or anybody.
No, it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been since 2016 that if a deputy comes in on a holiday to work, it's at time and a half.
But if it's scheduled, you still have to pay them overtime?
It's not overtime, it's just special pay for working the holiday. Yes.
They get
Yes.
paid time and a half on that specific date.
That's not the way it was supposed to be.
I mean, that's what's
how
in
it was.
the minutes in April 2016.
That's how it was approved in 2016, Commissioner.
Because special pay isn't required by law, but Commissioners Court can grant that for holidays. So that's why I was asking for clarification, if it's only for deputies and jailers, or if it's for everybody in those departments.
But I'm gonna agree with the judge, we'll get all that and see what's gonna happen.
I'll entertain a motion to table
So move.
by Commissioner Juan Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Urenda. Any other discussion?
Is it tabled till next Commissioners Court or till a later day? Just so I can know, like when we do payroll on the next holiday, I think the next one is
Labor Day.
Labor Day, just so I can know exactly what to do.
That's for next meeting.
We'll have it for the 28th.
Mr. Ortiz, a question. So right now, if it's a holiday and dispatchers or jailers work, for instance, are they getting paid?
Well, in this instance, I've been doing it the way it's been done, but I've been kind of looking into the details of what the Department of Labor says to do, and that's why I just wanted to make sure that it's okay with y'all.
Because in 2016, Commissioner Noguera was approved to give them that time and a half, so that's what he's going off of. But that's just for the jailers, correct?
Well,
Utility would
there's
be Commissioner
utilities, but that's
Urenda's.
a different one. But as of right now, anybody who's been working like on the holiday, like in the jail or the sheriff's department, they'd get it at time and a half.
And your second question on the utilities, we never have paid overtime there. It was just for the sanitation in case they were ever called out. That's the reason it was put on.
But he's going off of the 2016 minutes, Commissioner, in 2016, you guys approved for them to get paid that.
That was supposed to be put in there on the policy itself.
Why sanitation?
No, it was utilities, it wasn't sanitation.
Huh?
It was utilities, it wasn't sanitation.
I understand, but what we had discussed in Commissioner's Court at that time was that the sanitation had to go pick up the garbage every day. And then if it happened to fall on a holiday and the rest of the employees were out, if they were called out, that's when they would get the time and a half.
Garbage on holiday?
Pick up correct me if I'm wrong, Commissioner, it's in
Not
your
anymore,
department.
but at that time, they were picking it up.
But we have
Not-
situations where our utility employees are called out because of water issues.
Correct.
Or
Right.
leaks during holidays.
Yes, and
Yeah,
then when
but
y'all
that's
mark that,
Comes in, come time.
no.
If it's a holiday,
If it's a holiday.
I was told by Mr. Eric that when you get called in on a holiday, they give you 4 hours of holiday pay and then 4 of comp time.
No,
That's what you-
right. That's another part of the clarification, like, because we had it in the other departments that they have to come in half a day, so they'll get the 4, like you said, like you worked it and then 4 the holiday, but I just wanted to make sure that's what y'all intended to do.
Yeah, because sometimes they work 8 hours. but
Right.
I've had mine work 8 hours, but it's 4 hours of holiday pay
Right.
and 4 hours of comp time.
Yes. That's kind of why I'm just looking for clarification.
I understand. There's confusion everywhere.
Well, I mean, I agree with, if you're called out on a holiday, whatever holiday it may be, and you're called out to go provide a service, I think you should be compensated for it. I agree.
Right, and that would just need to be voted, like if it's gonna be across the board,
So-
that just needs to be voted on by the court.
So are we going to vote on it, or do you want me to get legal research from our county attorney and also from our auditor?
Well, we can, I mean.
Because Mr. Pereira's going like this over there, so I'm assuming that he wants to discuss it at a later time.
No, like this.
Motion to table
Thank you, Commissioner.
Second.
till next commissioner.
To the next Commissioner's Court. Thank you, Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, travel reimbursement for tax assessor collector Mary Sandoval, mileage only for attending Truth in Taxation Workshop on July 18, 2023.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, presentation and approval of Dimmit County 2022 fiscal year audit by Padilla, Brown and Hill.
Thank y'all for having me. My name is Angela Verdusco. I'm here with Patilla Brown and Hill. I believe y'all have a copy of the report. I'll kind of go briefly over that, and if y'all have any additional questions at the end, I'm more than happy to answer those as well. I'd like to start off by going over the opinion letter that is on page 1. Our responsibility is to express an opinion on these financial statements in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards. The county received an unmodified opinion, which is the highest opinion that can be rendered. In other words, a clean audit. During the year, a new accounting standard was implemented. That was GASB 87 leases. And that's mentioned there on page 1 as well. On page 4 is the start of the management discussion and analysis. This provides a brief overview of the financial reports. If you read that, it gives you a high-level overview of the report. But I did want to kind of mention a couple items on there. If we go to page 7, we see the ending net position of the governmental activities for the year was $136,885,175. That was a change in net position of $8.9 million for the year. I'm rounding numbers there. The ending net position of the business type activities was $8,752,119. A change of $1.8 million for the year. If we go to page 13, you'll see the activity for the general fund. We have the balance sheet there, and then on page 16, we can see the ending fund balance for the year was $53,442,978. That was an increase in the year of $4.1 million for the year. Total expenditures for the general fund were $12.7 million. If we go to page 20.
On the expenditures, where's that overseeing that?
If we go to on page 16. Oh, I'm sorry. It's $12,771,424. If we jump to page 20, we've got the income statement for the business type activities. And the utilities had an ending net position of $8,680,976. And the airport had an ending net position of $71,143 for the year. Okay. If we jump to page 24, that is the start of the notes. Additional detail can be found over the county's capital assets and long-term debt. Just wanted to highlight that. I did want to highlight page 67. I'll allow y'all to get to that page.
57?
67. That page summarizes the grant activity for the county, both federal and state. For during the year, the county did meet the threshold for a single audit, and what that means is that the county spent $750,000 or more for the year. And when that number is hit, it triggers what we call a single audit, and that requires us to kind of take a look at those grants. And for the year, for the federal grant, if we go to page 70, the federal grant that we looked at was the American Rescue Plan Act, COVID-19. And then for the state program, we looked at the County Transportation Infrastructure Fund grant, and that's the program number. We didn't have any findings related to those. We did have on page 71 a finding related to the financial statements relating to the capital assets, and there's some discussions and controls and over that to help make that process smoother for next year. One last thing that I wanted to go over. I believe y'all have a separate letter. Y'all have that letter?
Can I see it so I can tell you whether we have that letter?
It's in the back.
The last page? Is that what's tabbed?
Yeah, we put it in.
Okay.
It's tabbed.
Okay, my apologies, I thought it was a separate letter. We're required to communicate, whether verbally, we decide to do that through this letter. This just highlights the responsibilities of the financial statements, what our scope and timing of the audit was. It mentions the new standard that went into effect for this year, GASB 87, is noted on page 2. And then on the last page, on page 4, it notes some upcoming standards that will go into effect for this next fiscal year. And the big one is GASB 96, SEBICAS. So that's a big accounting standard that will go into effect next year. And that will highlight all IT software and trying to account for that. So that is a big standard that will affect next year. I'll leave it open if y'all have any questions for me. Questions?
On the capital equipment, I was looking at, what is it that you were missing? On page 71.
So let me highlight in the notes where that's at.
You want us to better control of the equipment? Or what?
So if we go to page 33, for accounting and reporting standards, we've got our beginning balance, any additions, decreases, and then we end up with our ending balance. And I think there were some adjustments to get to our ending balance, and I think there were some assets.
That was corrected.
You know, just to get those. And the capital assets, everywhere I go, it's a lot involved in those. If you want to kind of add anything on that.
Yeah, basically what happened was that we had a previous infrastructure, the roads that were fixed, and we did move
from the trial balance, we didn't record it under the fixed, and the infrastructure, and the fixed assets, and so that's what was missing. And in going back and looking at something this year, we realized that we hadn't put them into the infrastructure for the previous year, and so that's why we had to go back and correct it. We also had a piece of equipment that we had reported as being purchased, but had never been purchased, and so this was like 2 years ago. And what happened is that the department signed off on it the following year, and we caught it this year because we went to look at the inventory and it wasn't there, but we never bought it. So it was an error from somebody in our office that put it in that we really never, it was actually a quote. The check had been bought out, but we never bought it, and so a person that was inputting the information did put it in there, but it was never actually in our inventory.
So, the roads that we did with the Texas ramp, that goes in here also?
Yes. Anything that you have as
All the grants go in there.
as a grant is an infrastructure, goes into our fixed asset infrastructure.
Yes, if the county's gonna take over those assets and maintain.
Correct. Other questions? I entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any discussion?
In other words, we're in great shape.
Yes, like I said, there was clean pain, it just that, noting on the capital assets. And I think there's some discussions, to help make that process smoother, to avoid those things. I do want to thank the county auditor's office. When we come in here, it's a lot, there's a lot involved that we ask for. There's a lot of things that we have to go through for accounting standards, just to make sure that we're covering our bases as well. So I do want to extend our thanks to them and helping make that process smooth.
And I will say that I did talk to Mr. Pereira in regards to those two issues that they had in regards to that one equipment that was signed off as purchased, but it wasn't, and he was pretty prompt about getting it fixed efficiently, and he did that as soon as you saw that, we got that fixed.
Thank you, Mr. Pereira, your office.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
4.1 Law Enforcement Discussion and Appropriate Action. Approval for Jonathan Saldana Sergio Prieto to attend the Regional Counter-Drug Training Academy interview and interrogation in Corpus Christi on August the 28th through September the 1st.
Judge, on this one, the class is free. It's just the meals and the accommodation, hotel, that's all. The class is free, the training's free.
Give me 1 minute, Commissioner.
So what day?
No, it's 5 days, Commissioner. So just
September
to,
the first is,
it's August 28th through September the 1st.
this is a different.
So just to clarify, Sheriff Castaneda, 'cause the voucher that was submitted to our office doesn't have a total travel expense. It's a total of $783.28, is that correct?
Should be
Which-
correct. It should
To
be
include the meal and then the 4 nights for a hotel?
That's correct.
Okay.
So it's not on the 28th through the 31st.
Yeah.
20 through the first.
28 through the
Through
1st.
the first.
It's
20
the
through the-
27th through the 31st, so just making sure.
Where does that say that, Commissioner? Somebody wrote that in there because mine just shows 28 through the 1st.
It's a week. It should be that.
Right, 28 through
That's
the
correct.
1st. Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Uranda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. 4.2, discussion and appropriate action, Mama Patrol, interlocal agreement with Carrizo Springs, CISD and Dimmit County Sheriff's Office. That's in regards to the
The crossing guards?
crossing guards, correct?
The interlocal agreement we have with the school and ourselves.
Still the same.
Still the same, no changes, yes, sir.
I was going to ask the same question. Just to clarify, there has not been any changes, it's just a carryover from last year's
That's correct.
MOU, correct?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Odena. Any discussion?
Sure, did you put up the increase on the mobile patrol for the rates? All the employees are getting.
They're included in the budget, Commissioner. Yes, they are.
Only other issue, Your Honor, is, and I'm not sure this is true, but if Dr. Cervantes is no longer the superintendent, then we need to get a signature of the new superintendent on it. And we can check that.
Well, this will become effective today, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes, but I don't know when, I know there was a board meeting, they said they could not renew his contract. I don't know where his contract is extended to, so.
It'll be here till the end of this fiscal year.
Correct, is my understanding. That he's going to be here this year.
We shouldn't have a problem.
Entertain a motion on the Mama Patrol interlocal agreement. Commissioner Noguera, second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 4.3, discussion and appropriate action, approval for convection oven gas. It's my distinct understanding that the last time Ms. Montes was here, she illustrated, the numbers that she illustrated were for an electric oven. However, in returning back to the sheriff's office, she realized that the oven was not in fact electric, it was a gas.
With the skillet and the gas, both of them.
The gas, which would be 4.3 and 4.4. My distinct understanding was that Ms. Montes returned to the sheriff's office and realized that the machines, the equipment were in fact gas and not electric. So essentially it's repealing the approval that we approved from Commissioner's Court in July the 24th, where we approved the skillet and the oven. However, that was for an electric oven, not gas. So these numbers that you see here today reflect the prices for a gas oven. Is that correct, Ms. Montes?
Yes, ma'am.
For the convention of it, we're going with the restaurant store.
It's going to
Well,
be,
she has 3 quotes on there, Commissioner Noguera. In July 24th, the convection oven that was approved by Commissioner's Court was for the amount of $13,144.71. The new numbers that she got reflect for a gas oven. And as you can see, there's 3 quotes there, with the Wasserman Company being the lowest price at $13,632.76. I'm going to right now. And for the 3.4, which is the skillet, Commissioners Court approved $26,947.80 on July the 24th, with the new numbers for gas skillet, the lowest being $26,947.80, which is an increase in about $3. Discussion?
Ms. Montes, this company, the one that's got 13,000, where's it from?
it's here in Colombia, the ones that.
Well, they'll ship it down to the company, Columbus, Ohio, they ship that down to the one that services right now, the gentleman that comes and does the services. they deal with all these companies, so once they get it, they'll come back down and they'll do the install. That's what the cost of
But I'm
recommendation.
trying to find out if they're gonna charge you for delivery, because another company is charging this and under. So how much, if they're gonna charge or not?
On the first page, Commissioner, excuse me, Sheriff, on the first page, it has the price for the freight,
$175.
the $175. $175 is a fee.
So we're gonna then include it, the freight, correct?
Correct, so the total comes out to $13,632.76. Any other discussion? Commissioner?
I'll hold my tongue.
Well, no, we want you to say what you have to say. We have to help
Is the
people
freight-
accountable.
Well, is the freight from the company to the person, or the freight is the company to over here?
Over here.
175 cents. Too low.
That's coming from shipping to our office.
I check on the ship, I mean, well, I mean, if it's approved, I just check on your check and
Yeah, because even if you look at the,
it sounds low.
because if you look at the, on the Catan restaurant supply, Ms. Montes, that you provided, it also doesn't show shipping, and it shows what the subtotal is 16,944, but where you have it for shipping, there's zero. Money.
The first vendor, I understand is cheapest, 13,000, and the second and the third are 16,000. But the second and the third, it's 120,000 BTUs, and the first one is 50 BTUs. The other two are stronger ovens than the first one.
50,000 BTUs.
It's not apples to apples, remember? I went through that with, before.
We had that problem before with an item that one of the commissioners wanted to buy, because it was on the same amount of horsepower. That's why he's saying apples to apples. And that was my next deal, but I don't know. Some commissioners scored it, they want to.
But I would think they would benefit more from 120 BTUs than 50,000 BTUs.
I don't know what that was.
Also depends on the gas consumption that's offered to us. It might not be compatible with, it might require more gas consumption from the vendor.
You don't have to approve it, Commissioner, but my position and my advice to the court would be for us to table it so that she can get the proper numbers, and for you also to get the proper shipping to make sure that that's the correct number. Because I don't see a shipping price on here, because like I said, the 16,000, I don't know.
This right here. Freight property.
Which one is this on, Judge?
On the one that Commissioner Ogaba was saying that it's 144,000 BTU, it asks you to submit the zip code so that they can give you the number of what it would cost for shipping. But it looks like y'all stopped at that page when you printed out the backup.
On all three of them? Or just on all three of them?
I would say so, because Commissioner Carmona was questioning the shipping on the first one, correct?
Yes.
If you have any problems with that, ma'am, get one of, I think, the auditor, somebody to get it for you. That way you don't run
I think if we go to when you go in there and compute the numbers, it asks for an estimate, but also it tells you calculate estimated shipping costs, and you enter the zip code. So then you go to the next page, and that should be the printout, because this is just subtotal without shipping costs.
Do you want the process like
correct.
That way you don't have the shipping and all that, it's gonna charge you, because it says free shipping, but I'm sure it's gonna charge at the end, once you finish.
Because like for instance, on the oven, it has, if you look at that page, Commissioner, on the oven, it says it's $26,947.80. However, at the bottom, it says shipping calculated at checkout, and then it says ships in 12 to 18 weeks. I don't know if you read that either.
I'll check also, because some of these vendors, they sell to Mission.
Yes, because, I mean, because if it's pertinent and it's urgent to get these ovens or skillets in here, like I said, on that one in specific, it tells you right there, it takes 12 to 18 weeks to ship out.
Just coming there on the high board,
I got the list of high board there, I'll check with somebody. I got the list.
Once you get it on the high board, but it tells you what it is.
See, because on this one, Commissioner, it shows 31,000, and then it says freight, but then up here the total says 55,000. So there's not. I think we just need clarification, Ms. Montes. It's not that it doesn't. At least I'll speak on behalf of myself. Not that I don't want to approve. It's just I think we need clarification because the numbers are not. They're different numbers because one of them says that the total is going to be 31,000. But then you go down and it says it's 55,000 for the skillet.
Yes, that's not free.
So I'll entertain a motion to table. Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Montes. Thank you, Sheriff.
There's also, I'll be leaving, I got that training this week, so I'll be out this week.
Yes, I remember. Be careful, be safe.
We also have the Texas Commission Jail Standard inspection Friday, so we won't get the result probably until next week.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Montes.
Thank you.
Financial 4.1 discussion and approval Monday.
Sorry, can we go back to the side of my secretary?
What items?
Yes,
Oh, yes, the ones that you needed the backup.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Okawa, did you get yours or no?
What are we doing first?
We're going back to item 3.18, discussion and appropriate action approval for Road and Bridge 3 and 6 to purchase a chip and seal spreader. Commissioner Juan Carmona has tendered to me what is the Klausner Machines and Equipment Company. You don't have a copy of that one because I only have this one copy, but I'll pass it down. The chip spreader, the total amount comes out to $364,495.02 for the chip spreader.
It's coming out of CO's, yes, ma'am, and it's a live board product.
Another one, the county has.
No, this one's,
The bigger one.
just 20 feet one way. And it's got like a paper.
It's a rock spreader. Is a rock spreader enough?
Chip, yeah, well,
To spread
grade 5.
Silver rock?
Grade 5.
Yeah, well, you can adjust it to whatever grade you want to spread. The only thing, on the dump truck, we're gonna have to install the bar on the bottom to hook up to it. Is it the one that pulls it or no?
No, you just push it with the bumper.
With a bumper?
Yeah.
So you back up the dump truck and it's dumping, rocking it and pushing it?
The machine's going forward automatically, you just follow it.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's a good idea to put that hitch on there, that way if it goes too fast, the truck will follow.
We installed the hitch last night to ours.
The hitch on the
So
bottom?
we got.
Yeah, it's because the big commercial ones have a drop. So you have a cross member pipe, and when the truck backs up to it, it hooks onto it. And then it's pulling the truck and it's spreading the rock. When it runs out of material, the operator stops, releases the truck to hook up to it.
This one's got a conveyor belt also, which is.
Yeah, to move to.
Just fill it up and pull out to the other one, that way we don't have to wait too much time.
This is coming under your COs, Commissioner?
Yes, sir. And I'm gonna charge whenever you wanna use, anybody wants to use it, I'm gonna charge so I can make up my money.
By a mile.
That's what I come.
The,
You have the, so we can make a copy, Commissioner.
the, that thing can be used also, Judge, like some of the roads that are getting bigger, we can put that small rod, like Texas does, and we'll keep that roads
We
long.
can get it after, but I need copies so we can give to the commissioners. I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba,
Second.
second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Is there any other discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. That's the only one you had, Commissioner? 3.24, discussion and appropriate action, approval to purchase a new loader for the landfill.
Judge, we don't have the loader for the landfill. The money is there to purchase it.
That's from the CO, Commissioner?
COs, yes, ma'am. Commissioner, it's a 926.
The track loader that's a Metro is worth is the one for the landfill, right? And it's a track loader.
Yes.
So you're gonna get a tire loader?
We're getting the loader. That one just has the front of it. That's not the loader that we need.
It's a track loader.
Doesn't have the bucket, none of that.
It's got a bucket in the front with the teeth. It was bought specifically and especially for the landfill. It's got a bucket in the front and it's to push
Yeah,
the
but
material.
we only saw the one for the snow, and it's a straight one.
The blade?
That's what I asked.
Because it was supposed to be a track loader.
It's not. So that's why when I looked over the paperwork, we needed the water truck, the loader, and that one.
But you're gonna get a tire loader for the landfill.
No, it'll be a track one.
Oh,
Well, we can put the track if it needs to be required, but I don't think it was, we just said the tires. Yeah, do we need it with the tracks or just the regular tires for the loader? Because the city has just the regular tires.
We'll have to go back and take a look at the approved site operating plan. We have a list of the equipment that's required.
Yes.
And it can be new or used equipment. It doesn't, you and I had that discussion. I think the loader, I think the dozer is a track, but I'll have to go back and take a look at it because that helps compact the material a little bit better as you roll over.
This one's not gonna have the tracks.
Okay, well, we can evaluate and look at that list.
the only reason I'm bringing it up then, because at the city landfill, they have a small loader, like a 5,
Right.
and then they have a track loader, which is in essence a dozer, but with a bucket in the front.
Sure.
It's considered a track loader. Right, you utilize those at landfill because of the debris, the metal fragments, stuff like that. They're looking into the tires to eventually get in. I mean, you're pushing brush and trash.
Right, and the other thing we talked about is making sure that when we order it, get the whoever the manufacturer is, Caterpillar offers a landfill versions, and those are kind of come equipped with some fire suppression systems and other things that they equip on that model. So
Because I thought that
So-
machine at Metro was purchased before the house, I know it was over 500,000. That machine.
yeah, I'd have to look at the paperwork on it, but I think when you and I talked about the site operation plan was required.
So did the one,
Well, no.
so the one that was purchased, did it have? So it doesn't have it?
What?
No.
Wait, I thought it had it because I saw it with a bucket in the front, but
It doesn't have the bucket, it has the straight.
it's got a blade on it instead of a bucket.
I'm just one vote, it's what you all decide. So my motion is to approve it.
So moved. A second.
The money's coming out of seals that was already put aside for the landfill.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera, second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection?
Aye.
One objection, Commissioner Odena.
Thank you, Judge, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Yes.
We have 3.25, the approval for Road and Bridge 4 to purchase a dump trailer.
Judge, it's a small utility trailer.
Okay.
To put the material on it. Usually when we're short staffed, I go out and help Patsy or my employees to pave the roads. And it's a lot harder to do it this way. We have to
In the back of the truck.
And all that, we have to do it in the back of the truck. And with this, it would be a lot easier for us. We can attach it to the truck, or anybody that needs to use it can attach it to their truck and haul it. It's a 14 by 83.
That one's out of seals, también, Commissioner?
This one's coming out of my budget.
Your budget. Let's see, where are we? Motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion?
Commissioner,
Ande.
I was gonna let you know on that pool patch, we purchased it in bags, because it's a lot easier to handle and less on your back, or at least for the people that are handling it. And it comes in pallets, and you waste less, because as you can tell, when you load it in the truck, a lot of it,
Yeah, we have the bags, and that helps a lot, like
Okay.
the small little projects, but especially like lamination, we use the material, we haul material from there. Or sometimes we do the bags too.
I got you.
Commissioner, so you're gonna go with the big tex trailer or the Hudson Brother load trailer?
The big
Okay,
text trailer.
the big tex trailer. Oh, let's see. All in favor? Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action approval for Road and Bridge Precinct 4 to purchase a jackhammer attachment for the skid steer.
Judge, we have a skid steer, we just need the attachment, this, that's, we have two burials.
This one?
That's the handle, I'm gonna let you know on that one.
Oh, okay.
As you can see in the pictures, the last burial we had, it was all caliche, so the guys had to do it, some of it by hand. We used one of the jackhammers that we had to rent from United Rentals to help us out with the work. We used Mr. Garbona's, they
Wow.
had broken down, so we needed the sub screws. So we ordered those, but now, I'm like, so we have the skid steer, we can buy the attachment and have it there for anybody else that needs to use it and us. Because the Mount Hope Cemetery, that is pure caliche.
In Asherton? This is,
That's here.
okay. Wow.
And also that excavator I got, sometimes it's kind of big for the places they're going to, because it's got a jackhammer. It's bigger size than the small excavator for the one I have.
And the one that's by itself, is about to put it on the next one, I think it's the back of your page.
Yes, it's on the last page.
This one, we can hold it on.
Handheld.
Handheld. We had the 60 pound, but that was too big, especially for us women or me and Patsy. But, so the 20 pound would be great. The ones we rented out was 60 pounds, so it's kind of hard to pick it up and all that. But if we get a 20 pound, that would be awesome for us to have, so we can use it if we need it for the caliche.
Our crew used, I have a jackhammer, so they used that one, but now we found the implement to the Mini X. So what we'll do, we'll take the Mini X and it's got the quick detach.
And attach it.
So we'll bring it with a hammer, put it on the side, hook up the bucket and clean it out. It seems to work really, really good.
And that one's gonna be with Holt, Commissioner? Holt?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And I understand that Paul, since we bought our skid steer with Paul, so it'll be a lot easier and more reasonable amount.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Uranda. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 4.1, discussion appropriate action budget adjustment within JP4 department. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Uranda, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Discussion? I have a question too. Give me one question, Commissioner. Mr. Pereira, in regards to this one question that Commissioner Alonso Carmona had, this is not going towards this budget adjustment in regards to, because he wants to know, he has to abstain because if it's for Ms. Carmona, Marina Carmona. I mean, because Beef's not, JP Martinez is not here, so I know whether,
No, because she's full-time, right? She's the full-time. She's the full-time.
he just wants, which I totally understand, for purposes of protecting him, he doesn't want to vote on it if it's,
It's a temporary part-time. The part-time person.
I'll just abstain.
okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Any other discussion? You said you had a question, I'm sorry.
I thought we weren't allowed to move money to personnel or part-time during a regular year.
No, you can't. It has to come to Commissioner's Court, and this is for part-time.
Yep, it can for the employee, but not for elected officials.
You always used to say no.
No. The other adjustments, well, the small amounts, but this is anything for temporary, for payroll or capital assets have to come to Commissioner's Court for any amount.
I thought we couldn't, just with the money was sit there and that was it.
Not
So
for-
then that means that if we have funding, let's say for instance, I have funding 20,000 for part-time and I exceed my $20,000 and I can come back to Commissioner's Court, do a budget adjustment for more funding?
Yes, anything.
Well, if you have it in your line item, you can adjust it.
I know it's there, but we were always told no.
No,
Yes.
not from,
Yes.
no. I can't do it as a budget amendment if it's in part-time, if it's in.
That's what I'm questioning, because before we bring it to Commissioner's Court and it wasn't allowed.
No.
Yes.
For payroll, you can do it whatever you want. For employees, I'm sorry, elected officials, you can't.
I know for elected officials we can, and we couldn't do either for our employees.
Yes, we've done in the past. There have been amendments. Yes.
This is the question I asked you and Mr. Ortiz, remember? And you said no. That because then it would go to whatever we put in there, that was what the adjustment was gonna be. And I said, no, remember?
No.
No, if it gets approved, that's what I'm understanding too. If you can't just do it without coming to Commissioner's Court for payroll purpose. If it gets approved in Commissioner's Court, yes, the money can be moved. But if not, then no. And once you run out of money, all the part-timers pretty much have to go home.
If you don't
Because we're not-
approve it, if you don't approve it, if you don't approve it,
We're not allowed to create positions until budget time. So isn't this like approving a position because he doesn't have any money?
he doesn't have enough money to cover it.
Precisely.
Right, but that's up to you all, that's what I'm saying. If you all don't approve it, you don't have to.
We cannot create positions. So if he doesn't have any money, he's actually creating a position, correct? Because he's out of money on the part-time.
No.
No.
It's not creating a position, it's just that line item, the money has run out. And so if he has money from somewhere else, he's trying to bring it over here. The way that I understand the rules, and I don't know, I wasn't here before, but if he used to tell you that you couldn't do that, then we need to find him accountable. But the way that I read the rules is you can do a budget adjustment. If you have money in, let's say, office supplies, and you need to bring it over to part-time because you ran out, you can. But I understand what you're saying, that you were always told you couldn't do that.
I know that we can move within our budget, but we were always told that for personnel we couldn't. So that's what I'm saying.
Elected officials you can, but personnel, the way I read it, you
In
can.
the past, you just, it has to be brought to Commissioner's Court to do it.
It was brought before
Right.
Commissioner's Court
Yes.
back then, and it was.
You're saying that it's been done in the past,
Yes.
in the year before. She's saying that she's
Part-time,
never seen it.
We've always had it, positions that are already created, all you do is you're adding more money to that line item. But that position's already there, that person's there already. He's used up his time, his money that was available. And that's why he's asking for additional $1,000. But it's already there.
I know it's already there, but if you already exceeded that, then that should be it. That's all you're getting, because our budget was approved just for the
Well, then,
$25,000, and that's it.
if you all say no, that's fine. I mean, and then he has to come back and has to lay that person off. And you won't have that part-time available.
But there was the question when it happened to Commissioner Urenda, that I questioned it, and we got upset. You said you were gonna check to see what had happened, because he was putting money from somewhere to a golf course for part-time, and we didn't know where there was gonna come from. Remember, that's the discussion, Commissioner Urenda and I had.
But we got it from the same, it came from the same budget, his budget.
Right.
His came from his same budget.
The thing is, it's not gonna make that difference, because we already approved his, so we're gonna have to approve this. We already approved one.
Well, no, you don't need to, I mean, basically each one needs to stand on its own. So if you all feel that this one shouldn't get the $1,000, you don't have to approve it.
No, it's not how we feel. The thing is, we're doing the right thing, because we've been asked before on this. We brought it to Commissioner's Court before, and the answer was no. So that's what I'm saying. And I know we approved his, so my thing is, we already did it to one, we have to do it to the other one. I just wanted to make sure that it could be done or not.
Yes.
Because it wasn't before.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? And we have one abstention. That's Commissioner Alonso Carmona abstained. Because
Well, I just want to wait until I get these orders or whatever it is. I don't want to coming back and somebody saying something.
Say something.
4.2, discussion and appropriate action, budget adjustment within the Metro Department.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona, second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. 4.3, discussion and appropriate action, budget adjustment within the utility department.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any discussion? All in favor? Any objection? Motion carries. 4.4, discussion and appropriate action, budget adjustment within the Texas A&M Department. Motion by Commissioner Noguera, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. Any discussion?
Ma'am,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pereira, I'm sorry. Mr. Pereira, this is for the people that are at the convention center, correct?
This is for Texas A&M, which is Ms. Alyssa Cruz's.
Okay, so how did they get capital equipment? For what?
Actually, Texas A&M pays half of it, we pay the other
No,
half.
I'm not asking about this.
He's asking how did they get a line item budget for capital equipment?
'Cause we always-
You guys approved of it last budget, Commissioner?
It's,
On the last time?
I understand, ma'am, but my question is, what did we put that money for?
laptop.
All right, so why are we taking it?
Oh, because
They're
it
short
was short, it was
$76.
$76 in it. Because it's capital equipment, it has to come to Commissioner's Court. It was just $76. Because they've always,
I don't understand. If it's for a laptop, why are they making the budget adjustment?
He's saying that I suppose it's just, I'm assuming that he's saying they should have gotten it from him, from IT, correct?
That's why we have the IT.
But we don't have enough in IT for them,
No.
Commissioner. We're gonna do it for the new budget, remember?
on their section, we do it from theirs because A&M pays half, we pay the other half. That's why we keep a record of it there.
So it should be $30.
No, that's what's.
No, that's the
They've
split.
already paid their portion, we're paying, this is our portion.
Okay,
So it's
I understand.
$76.
You're sure?
See, not everything's about how we're gonna control what they buy,
But-
and then they ask us where is it at, and we don't know.
Commissioner, but that's what we agreed for this coming budget, that from moving on from this coming budget, all of that kind of equipment is gonna come from IT. But for this year,
I understand, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there was approved on the other budget also that all equipment was gonna come from the IT.
I understand that, but
Okay.
this is different. Okay, hold on. This is different because A&M actually pays us half of the equipment. We pay the other half. So we keep it, so that basically it's, from that budget, it shows in there that we pay the other half.
So in essence, it's gonna cost us less. Because instead of getting it, if we get it through IT, you have to pay the full amount.
Yeah,
Correct.
I mean, yeah, they're pitching in, so they're responsible for it.
I
We just pay
understand
for
all
half.
of that, but you keep saying that they didn't.
It's the
The
same.
money that we approved for IT, when we made the budget last year, included them, included everybody.
Included them because of the agreement.
Well, okay, so that's my question. If they were gonna get it through the IT, the money should have been there, correct?
No, because we recorded in the extension office.
Oh, and-
The IT is basically all general fund.
We're not
We
gonna
don't
get anywhere.
worry about anything. This is basically because it's half and half.
$76.
It's not the amount.
In the end, it's still all general fund.
No, what I'm saying, Commissioner, is, I understand what you're saying completely. But what, and I see what, there's a confusion, but it's actually a better deal for us because we will pay less in this situation.
Yes, and that's why we recorded it there, because we go back and we show that we paid half and they paid half.
All right, let's go forward.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, budget adjustment within the Sheriff's Department.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Urenda. Discussion. Mr. Pereira, on the uniforms, are they getting new uniforms or what's that for?
I know they were having problems with the uniforms. I will go back and check on that.
Verify, since they hired new employees, making it the uniforms for the new deputies.
But that's, yeah. I'll check on that, but it seems kind of bad too.
Other questions? All in favor? Any objection? Motion carries. Claim docket. General fund was $817,307.64. Dimmit County Clerk, $1,292.65. Dimmit County District Clerk, $2,669.63. Dimmit County Airport, $966.90. Dimmit County Golf Course, $11,275. Courthouse Security, $1,569.86. Records Management Clerk, $1,098.88. Utilities, $58,093.18. Equitable Sharing Forfeiture and Seizures, $11,250. Rodeo Arena, $100. Stone Garden, $22,246.24. Local Border Security Sheriff, $69,597.70. Dimmit County Payroll, $478,051.72. CDBG Colonia Fund, $36,000. COs 2018, $138,240. COs 2021, $31,650. COs 2022, $370,625.48, for a grand total of $2,052,034.88.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Urenda. Any discussion? All in favor? Go ahead, Commissioner.
Mr. President, the last time the chair was here, remember, he said he was having problems with the uniforms, and he still gonna keep that company?
I'm not sure.
I'll look for him also when he
No,
goes there.
he had to leave the training.
That's right. But yeah, we were aware of what he was having problems with, and so we're looking into that.
Could you find out, so, because, I just remembered that, although, and I was gonna ask him when he was here, not completely forgot. He said he was having a lot of problems with the
Well,
company.
part of it is because of the color that they had before, and so I don't know what they're gonna be doing with that, so.
I'm sorry, Judge.
No problem. Any other question?
Talking about uniforms, can we replace the IT uniforms? They look like they
At the jail?
Can we, it's up to you, like polos?
That is Commissioner Juan's.
The reason I haven't bought polos is because we weren't supposed to, as you all recall, that once that polo, you have the emblem on it, you cannot return it and you cannot get your money back. That's the reason that I follow what we had discussed before. Nobody's supposed to have polos. And yet I see people with polos.
So we got polos.
But they, I think some of them purchased the polos out of pocket. Your staff does, right? Out of pocket?
I'm talking about departments, our departments.
He's talking about,
Oh, what departments?
like our department, like,
But you pay that, your department, shouldn't they pay that out of pocket? There's not a budget for it.
for you.
He's talking about the polos.
No, my guys don't have polos. No.
As long as they don't have the name, they will return them because
Yeah,
whenever.
because that's what I'm saying. It had the emblem, you cannot
You
return
can.
it.
You can, because it's usually Christina to return first, as long as you don't put, if you also mark his name on it. You don't put the name, but if you put the emblem, you can return it because it will just.
That's just one time we take to return.
Because they have names.
That's fine. I don't have a problem, but like I said, let me look into it.
I'll entertain a motion. I'll entertain a motion.
There was a motion made by me.
All in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor, excuse me.
Aye.
Aye.
Can we?
Y'all have me.
Welcome to the real world.
Yes, Commissioner? I'll entertain a motion to recess and adjourn. Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Uranda. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to open, the time is 1:23 for the Public's Facility agenda. Let the record reflect that all commissioners, county judge are present. 1.3 approval of minutes, regular meeting of July 24, 2023.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Uranda.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Discussion appropriate action, new business. There is no new business, so no action taken. Financial 3.1 claim docket, public safety, $5,642.34.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Uranda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries.
Before we choose this, may I
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez, I'm here with this new business. Next time put down once a month the report from the public facilities. So I can give the secretary can give the report. Because every month we need to go over the same thing, but once a month, at the end of the month, the second meeting.
Yeah, she's gonna put it on the 28th. I think you had told her that.
It always comes new business, so we just report from the public facility.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Alonso Carmona.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Uranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you.